Hey, everybody. Okay, so I'm really excited about these next guests that we have on. One of them you've met on Rock Titan in the past, before Rock Titan Live was on W4CY Radio. One of the most legendary drummers in all of rock and roll history, period, bar none. And he is now working with a new band that I'm telling you right now, these guys have got sick, sick chops. You're going to be hearing a lot more from these guys. My prediction right now in the next couple years, we're talking Grammy. Everybody, we have got with us right now the legendary Carmine Appice and Peter Bigiani from the band Kodiak.
Or as we call him, Little Pete.
Little Pete. Oh,
there is
man.
a big Pete. There is a big Pete.
There's a big Pete.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, just like there was a big Carmine, right? Although they didn't call him Carmine. He went by Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know how I know that? Right here.
Because you read the book.
Right here. I read the book. I should have read this before I talked to you the last time, Carmine. I'm kicking myself. Now, we had a great interview for sure. So everybody, if you didn't see the last interview I did with Carmine, make sure you just, go out to YouTube and Google Rock Titan TV, Carmine Appice, and you'll see it. But, oh man, it would have been so much better than better if I had already read your book, which, what a fun read. Now, I got to ask you, Pete, have you read his book, Stick It?
Yeah.
Not only did he read it, he helped me ship it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, mandatory. Reading that book, I mean, if you're going to be working with Carmine, Pete, your brother, and everybody in the band, mandatory. Because you got to know what you're getting into,
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I mean, like, I remember when I started working with you and, like, a couple years ago when we started doing the book thing and shipping it out. And then I was like, I should read this. And one night I got it on my phone and I was just reading. I was like, oh my God.
Did you have any second thoughts? We're like, oh man, I don't know, man. Should Carmine be like my mentor here? I don't know.
No, you know what? It's cool because I grew up with Carmine's like my family member. Carmine's like my uncle. On. You know what I mean? So
very cool. Very cool.
Like growing up with Carmine and stuff like that, like he always drove me away from all that kind of stuff. Like he always told me like always focus on the music, never do the drugs or never do anything that's bad. He never did drugs really. Right, if you read that in the book. Yep. He only smoked weed, which is like everybody does that now.
Jimmy, I'm not gonna ruin it. You gotta read the book. But man, I love that part where you're hanging out with a particular guitar god. That just blew my mind. But so Pete, I got to ask you then, is it fair to say that Carmine really kind of was your inspiration into getting into drums? Is he why you got into drums, or was it something that you already were in love with?
Back to Pete won a contest when he was 11 years old.
Okay.
A modern drummer contest too. And the prize was a set of drums, cymbals, but he was going to star in my Realistic Rock for Kids DVD,
nice.
Which is now on YouTube. But he was 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
He wanted to teach kids. I thought a kid teaching kids would be great. So he and his whole family came to New York for 3 days. And that's when I met Pete. And we did the video, and he introduced me to his little brother, Chris, who was 6 at the time. And he said, yeah, my brother plays guitar. I go, yeah, right, okay. But all through the years, they've been coming to my gigs. I've been talking to him, as he said, giving some advice. And, as they built this band up, it started with a trio, and Chris was singing. I said, no, you need a new singer. You got to get a singer. So they went out, got somebody else. That didn't work. And then they got Eric, who they have now.
Right. And
then kept sending me demos, and and I kept giving him advice. And then when I heard the last set of demos last year, it was probably last August, almost a year ago, September, I heard something in there. I said, you guys sound like a punk band, but a little bit of Van Halen in there. And then the next day they called me and said, Greta Van Fleet's happened doing Led Zeppelin. I said, how about if we go more Van Halen, like Greta Van Fleet went Led Zeppelin? I said, that's a great idea, but you got to change your name. Because they had a horrible name. Tell them the name.
Like the Pigeons?
No.
Like
No.
the Pigeons? Before it became Vanilla Fudge?
It was so bad that we can't even say it on
Oh,
the
come
show.
on. No. You are not allowed to do that. Come on, give it up.
Lane.
You're Kodiak now, so it's all good.
It was so
Yeah,
bad.
so they came up with the name Kodiak after I gave them some examples of like Cactus is a strong name, King Cobra is a strong name. I need a name like that, and they came up with Kodiak. I said, that's a great name.
Kodiak is good. I like it.
Kodiak, and I started working with him, and we changed the vocals, not so punky, and we went more towards Van Halen on all the guitar parts, and we started building these songs up again.
Yeah, man.
Right on, right on. So right now, as far as the public is concerned, they've been able to listen to Alone and Goodbye, and then you have a cover of Panama out there. Is there any other music by Kodiak that is available on any of the, internet music stream services, whether it's Spotify or YouTube or any of that?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Now, how far away would you say we are from having some kind of a EP, LP?
We have 5 tracks, working on a 6th one, and your idea to record Panama is a good idea. So if we do that, we'd have 7 tracks.
Yes.
Within a month.
Yeah, man.
Right
We have 5 now with a 6th one in the works, and they're all really cool songs. These guys got good songwriting abilities, and and the next video comes out on Monday for Alone, and that thing is awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Now, Pete, if you don't mind my asking you, since we had talked about Greta Van Fleet, and I think it was interesting because I actually caught up with them very early on, before they ever even released their first EP, Dark Smoke Rising. And, I'm thinking, man, these guys are so young and vibrant, and wow, they really got it going on. I'll bet they're going to win a Grammy in a couple of years. Sure enough, they win a Grammy in a couple of years. So now I'm talking to you, and it's like, I've heard what you guys got out there so far, and I'm like, you know what? The parallels are just too crazy. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So and you're older than Chris.
His brother just turned 17.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Chris is 17. The oldest is me and Eric, who are 21.
Wow.
And then TJ's 20. He'll be 21 in September. Okay. And Chris is the youngest, who's 17.
Wow, man. And he shreds.
Oh, yeah.
When I heard Panama, I was just like, oh, my God. Like, because the video was like from a distance away. It was a pretty far distance away. And at first I'm thinking, wait a minute, is this an old Van Halen video? I'm like, because as soon as he starts ripping, I'm like, wow, oh my God, And the thing that blew me away was the crowd was so dead. I'm like, how is the crowd not going out of their freaking mind right now?
I saw people comment that we actually played with Last in Line, and that was like, that's our crowd right there. Like that kind of audience, that's like what our crowd is right now. And behind us, there's like 500 people behind that camera. So, like, if you look and stuff like that, they loved us. Like, I think that was that last song that we played, maybe? It might be the last song that we played.
It's usually the last song.
Yeah.
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And we worked with the stage show, with where to work the audience. I mean, I threw in all of my stage experience on these guys and still doing it.
Right on.
Yeah, the gig last week, 2 weeks ago, Friday, and after we did it, I had a meeting with them and said, you got to do this and that. Let's try and do this and that, because they really got the potential, as you said, to be a Grammy kind of band, and they're awesome. I just gave their songs to that music supervisor also, who did Quentin Tarantino's song.
Right on.
Songs for his movies, and she does other movies. So we're hoping to grab something out of that as well as my friend that does ESPN. He's a music supervisor. He's working on some spots for their music as well. So
very cool.
I'm pulling out all my connections to try and help these guys, because I really think they got something different.
Well, that's pretty awesome, Pete. I mean, I'm sure you already know this, but I mean, to have a guy like Carmine working with you, I mean, wow. I mean, that's huge. Carmine, have you ever managed a band before? Have you ever taken this kind of role as like a mentor and bringing a project like this along? Have you ever done that?
Not really managed. I mean, I produced a few bands, but never really got into the managing and producing. And we have a co-manager named Warren Wired who knows all about like this digital world, which I don't know about.
Okay.
I know about doing press, I know about doing some gigs, I know about stage presence, I know about all that stuff. But Warren knows that whole Spotify, Apple Music, all that baloney.
It's a different era now, yeah. But what made you want to get involved at this level?
Well, because I was watching them, they were working with a lawyer that, was charging them for this and that, and they weren't really getting anywhere, And when they gave me the last set of demos, I said, this sounds really good, except, I think it needs to be, the production needed to be better. First of all, the sound's coming out, so it sounds like they're live, so they're kicking butt, and that's what we got now. I got the guy that does all my mixing, Stevie D, we call him. He mixed stuff on my Guitars records. Me and Pat Travers, me and Vanilla Fudge. I mean, Cactus, he's done a lot of stuff with me, and he's an awesome mixer. Right. So I said, we need to give him these songs to remix. But when they came up with the Van Halen idea, I said, well, then let's fix it. So we put a lot more guitar, a lot more Van Halen-ish kind of guitar, and background vocals, which they didn't have. Okay. And we built it up so it sounds on that vibe of Van Halen. And then we gave it to Steve, and then he even said, we need to do something with the vocal here, and then add a vocal there, and double the vocal here, and put another harmony there. So then we did all that, and it was like we totally rebuilt the songs, Mm-hmm. And I mean, they were punk songs. We even changed the melody lines a little bit, so they're more rock.
Yeah. Right. It was a cool experience for us. I mean, like, I think Carmine would be like in LA, and then he'd be in Canada, and then he'd be all over the place. So we'd just be sending him stuff, going back and forth, because I'm at my home studio here, so I could do it whenever I want.
Show the camera to your studio. Check it out. This is where we record stuff.
Not bad. Not
and they
bad.
Got a whole room where they have the drums and everything. So.
Oh God! Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice. You're business, man. That's the real deal.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We did the first goodbye video in that studio, and the second video is, the concept was to, how the Beatles and the Monkees do everything fast motion, in their videos and movies. So when they went to in January, I put them on the show with me and my brother. It's the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame Awards, and everybody in the business was there, and even John Sykes got awarded. He was there.
Oh, sweet.
And Todd Singerman, the manager of Motorhead, Wendy Dio, and all these heavies were there.
Oh, right
I wanted them to play, 3 songs. So they went out and played 3 songs. But on the way out, they drove out with my tour manager, Mark Shaggy, we call him. Yeah. And I said, make sure you video everything.
Yeah.
You never know when it's going to come in handy. Especially these days. So again, everybody, we are here with the legendary Carmine Appice and Pete Bigiani of the band Kodiak, that you are definitely going to be hearing a lot more of, man.
Pete is badass.
Thank you.
Dude.
Yeah.
He started with another friend of mine, and he taught him well. He's got great feet, great hands, and he kicks ass, just as the band does.
Now, how's his drum kit? Does his drum kit live up to your standards and expectations?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I let him use my gong.
Yeah.
He's got my gong, one of my gongs, so it looks Van Halen-ish. And he uses.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, so for the second video, they videoed everything, and I have a great video guy, editor, as well. He did my Guitars edit.
Oh, right.
And I got 2 Guitars videos out that he did, and he did the promo for it. And I said, we got to get this guy to edit your videos. So we did the first video, Goodbye, which really introduces the band playing. Then the second video now, it's got this wild coloration. I don't know if you remember that video by Aha in the 80s.
Of course, yeah.
It looked like it was a drawing.
Yeah. And then he goes into the picture, and yeah.
We mixed that kind of effect with them in the background of what they're singing, everything going fast, and cars going fast, and it's just amazing. Then they went on the beach. Where was it? Seaside Heights, Pete?
Seaside Heights, yeah.
Seaside Heights, New Jersey. They played, set up on the beach. Then they set up under the boardwalk, and they're walking around the boardwalk and into the arcades and stuff. We got all that going in fast motion, and then it's going in and out of that colorization. It's really wild.
Sounds cool.
And it just happened as we had the idea to do the fast stuff, but the coloration my editor Robert Nielsen did. He said, what about this effect? And originally in black and white, nobody really liked it. I said, the boys didn't like it. They said, we don't like that. So I said, what else can you do to it? He said, well, try this. And they gave it some coloration. And coloration really worked. And then he started, I said, we need to mix it up with the live footage on the beach. And, and then I realized that I needed footage of Eric singing the song so you can actually sing it and hear the lyrics and see the lyrics. So I had Eric do a video. And we've done all this like on iPhones and stuff,
Yeah.
And it's cool. And I think your dad and your girlfriend.
Yeah, we only did. I mean, like we just did like basically like it wasn't even like budget wise. It was an anamorphic lens on an iPhone with like one of those gimbals from DJI.
Okay.
We shot that, and then TJ brought his Canon, like the PowerShot camera.
Right.
On tour with us, and we just shot a lot of that stuff, and they just cut it up. Like, you don't need to have like $1 million camera to shoot a music video.
Nowadays, you don't. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Carmine, can you imagine if you had this kind of technology back in like the 70s and 80s?
I mean, we spent $150,000 per video with Blue Murder. I mean, it's ridiculous. We spent in my first video I ever cut with any band that I was in the budget for was $30,000. That was Rick Derringer, and the Rod Stewart videos after that, before that, they were like $50,000-$60,000. My King Cobra video cost $60,000. I mean, this video literally cost less than $1,000.
Yeah, see, that's why I can't get into the business, man. That's why I can't do it anymore, I had been doing some videos, but it took so much time filming and editing. But like you said, at the end of the day, I mean, people can do it for less. Budgets just aren't what they once were.
And we should send you the video so you can incorporate it in this interview.
Yeah, that would be pretty
have
cool.
Big Pete do that.
Well, we just got to drive everybody out to your site. We got to drive everyone out to your social media. Just so everybody knows. Now, we're going to have lower thirds in here. We're going to have lower thirds. But Kodiak, what? It's not just Kodiak. Is it what Kodiak Official? Kodiak the band?
You could go to kodiakband.com, or all the social medias are at We Are Kodiak.
We Are Kodiak. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Now, how about the whole touring thing? Are you guys pretty active in that area, or are you just playing kind of local to Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, or has Carmine already whisked you away to the magical land of California on the Sunset Strip, a Whiskey a Go-Go, and places like that?
Our first unofficial show, like a practice show, was in Texas. And like we did really well because we had fans drive like 2 hours to come see us in Texas. Okay. Which is like crazy. We didn't have any music out. We had nothing out. And then fans drove to see us. And then our first real show was in California at the award show. Okay. Then we've come back and we've done some shows in New York. Tomorrow we have a show in New York. We've done a show in Connecticut. Yeah. And we're going to go, I think we're going to go out next month. We're going to do some flying, right, Carmine?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're working on basically doing the promotion to get the album, the songs out there so people know it. Because it doesn't really pay to go out if nobody knows you. Mm-hmm. Right. So we're spending the time to do things like this, do interviews. On Monday, we're releasing the video with a video promotion company that's going to take in a lot of interviews and all that stuff. So that's what we're doing right now. And once we get the kind of momentum we have going, then we can go out and start playing more gigs, Yeah. And I'm doing gigs with them as an opening act per se, where I talk about how I made my Guitars record.
Oh, right on.
And then so that brings some of my audience into their realm. We're doing a gig at my father's place on Long Island where we have a radio station playing Kodiak, playing Guitars, and they're promoting the show. So we should have a good thing. So that's what we're doing. We're going to try and build it market to market. Okay. Before we head out. I mean, you take Greta Van Fleet, they were together 2 years doing that. Before that, these guys never did a gig before that Texas show. Okay. So we're at the beginning of their gigs. Really.
There's some cool stuff that is like in the works. Like I think Warren Warren was emailing back and forth with me and Carmine, and my dad's usually in on it too with us.
That's Big Pete.
Big Pete, that's my dad.
Right.
And like we're working on some like maybe like we'll do a couple days with a band that Warren manages, like another band, or we'll do something with another band. I was DMing on Instagram with Danny from Greta Van Fleet, actually.
Oh, no kidding!
So,
very cool.
Yeah, so they're going to be recording.
Yeah, well, see, when Greta Van Fleet played New York City, their publicist used to be my publicist in the 80s.
Right on.
And she said, these guys really want to meet you. The drummer is like a Carmine fanatic, and they all love Vanilla Fudge, and you guys are an influence on them. And they actually did one of my Cactus songs live, Evil.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
So when I went to see them, I said, it would be a good idea to take Pete and Chris with me, just in case in the future this thing starts happening, and we go, hey, how about we take Kodiak out with you guys? You already know them. So they went up with me, and we hung out with them backstage before the New York gig for about an hour or more. And everybody got, friendly, and they, these guys were talking to them like they were good buds. And we took some pictures, and those pictures started these guys off getting fans of Van Fleet.
I mean, all of their fans. Well, I should say some of their fans, because not all of their fans.
Yeah,
some of their fans started to follow us. I posted the picture on the Instagram, and it just blew up overnight. Now we have fan pages all around the world. We have fan pages in Brazil. We have fan pages in America, England. I think there's a Japan one.
That's got to be pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
pretty wild. Just from taking them, which my idea was to take them to meet. And I didn't think about that end of it. I just wanted it to, like, if Warren calls up their manager, hey, we want to put Kodiak out with Greta Van Fleet. And I talked to Heidi Robinson, the publicist. So, why don't you put my guys out? And I thought, well, now they know them.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a great fit. That is such a great match, too. And, I mean, those guys are selling out everything. I mean, they got sold out shows now. I mean, they've been on every single late night show that there is. They were on Saturday Night Live, for God's sakes. So it's like, you guys are on your way. And I love your stage presence too. It's like, that's already pretty solid. Carmine, I take it you approve?
Yes,
I approve. Yeah, like I said, we had stage rehearsals where I worked with them the way I worked with King Cobra. We had different songs, had different choreography, and this is where we break down, this is where we're going to do a freeze, we do all this kind of crazy stuff. And I've been to 2 or 3 rehearsals to work these things out, because now I want them to work on dynamics.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, I know you had to tell Robert Plant how to do it, right? Isn't that true? Yeah, I know you had to tell Robert Plant how to do it properly on stage, right?
God. You read that in the book, right?
Of course I did. Yeah.
I told Robert Plant he should move around more.
Yeah. There you go, man. There you go, So, oh, man. Oh, well, Pete, I'm so excited for you, man. And, God, I mean, I wish you nothing but success. And obviously,
thank you.
You are in the right hands. Now, Carmine, are you still up there in Brooklyn these days, or are you out on the West Coast?
I'm in Manhattan right now, and I just sold my house on the West Coast.
Okay.
And I actually sold my car over there, too. And we're just buying a house in Florida. Me and Leslie,
cool.
my girlfriend. Leslie is the radio chick that was on New York radio for a long time.
Right on.
So we bought a house. We're just working on it now. So we have a house in New York that we're living in now, and she has a house in Connecticut, which we're selling also.
Okay. All right. But you're going to Florida. What? The Northeast isn't hot enough for you already?
Huh?
It's not hot enough for you already up here?
No, well, I mean, I'm going to be up here probably in the summer, but man, it gets too cold up here for the winter.
Oh, well,
I moved to LA in '75 to get rid of winter, and I brought me back here in 2012 or 13, and I've been coming back, because Vanilla Fudge and all the things I'm doing is based more out of New York now.
Okay, all right.
But I just don't like winter, so she agreed to get a house together in Florida so I can relax. And that's great, because there's going to be a drum room, a music room, and a guest house and a gym, so I can practice and make music in there. And it's good. So
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So parting thoughts here, because I know you guys got better things to do on an afternoon than talk to me all day long. But it has been a blast. So what is next for Kodiak? What do you guys have on the horizon for the rest of the summer? July's wrapping up here. We got August coming upon us. We got the new video coming out for Alone. Did you say this is going to be for Alone?
Monday, yes.
Okay. All right.
Monday, and we got some radio people going to be working that, and we're also working on a gig where Kodiak plays with me and my brother, Appice brothers, to go to.
Vinny's going to get involved in this, huh?
Yeah. Because, well, it's funny because Pete worked for me, like selling the book, getting rid of the books and stuff, and I know Pete forever, and if I needed a favor, he drove and picked me up. And then my brother met him, so then he went on the road with my brother, and my tour manager that's also working for them, Shaggy, he works for Kodiak, works for me, and he works for my brother. So Pete went out with my brother as well, selling their merch.
Yeah.
So he knows Vinny very well, too. So now that's why we brought him out.
That's cool. All right, so Pete, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. All right?
Yeah.
Who's better, Carmine or Vinny?
I don't answer that question. They're both.
I don't know where my phone is.
Oh, come on, man.
I
had to do it. I couldn't resist, I can't help myself here.
Also on Skype.
That's too funny.
You'll have to edit this.
Yeah. But it's all good. It's all good. So, Carmine, as far as you're concerned, obviously you are overseeing the progress and the success of Kodiak right now. But what do you have going on? What's next for you? What are we doing?
Stuff. We got that the new video song coming out. You Keep Me Hanging On is in the movie.
Okay.
It's going to be on the soundtrack. We got a bunch of gigs. I just got back from a whole weekend, 5 days playing with my brother and doing some rock history talks about our rock history, both of us. And I'm going to be doing more of that. I got more gigs in October, November, December, September, October, November with Vanilla Fudge and working on a new Cactus record. And next year is the 50th anniversary of Cactus. So we're working on getting some product out, like special products for next year.
Sweet. And like you said, so it's a Hollywood tale, the new Brad Pitt.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and some of Vanilla Fudge's music's featured in that, huh?
It is. And from what I hear, Joe Vitale, drummer from Joe Walsh and all that, texted me this morning. He said, dude, we saw that movie and you guys got a big, long play in it.
Are you getting a big check from it?
Well, we sort of do, but when the record company's done with it, ain't so big no more.
Oh man!
We're trying to.
But did you know before the movie came out or was being done that you guys were going to be featured?
Yes, and I just worked a deal out with the music supervisor for the extra part, the intro, which they don't usually use. Sweet. So they paid us for that, and she's really nice. And like I said, I'm sending her the book. One for her and one for Quentin. And I'm also, I gave her a bunch of stuff for future projects of hers. I gave her Kodiak, I gave her Cactus, I gave her Vanilla Fudge. I gave her me and Vinny, too. So. Well,
I'm telling you right now, a movie must be done for Stick It, all right? This would make The Dirt, okay, look like a Dr. Seuss book, all right? This makes The Dirt look like Dr. Seuss. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm just saying it the way it is, man. What a read. Everybody, if you haven't seen Stick It, My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll by Carmine Appice, you got to read it, man. It's unbelievable. You would all say, how in the world is Carmine still with us today?
And then Pete can ship it out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it's like, how is Carmine even still with us today? It's amazing. It's a blessing, of course, but amazing. But, guys, thank you so much.
2 years. It's my 52nd anniversary right now.
Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Carmine, Pete, thank you so much for being on Rock Titan Live. And everybody, Kodiak. Remember the band name Kodiak. Yeah, go check them out. They are insane. They are off the charts. They are awesome. And like I said, couple years, Grammys, all right? These guys are going to be on Saturday Night Live. They're going to be on the Jimmy Fallon Show. They're going to be on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. I'm just telling you, they're going to be on James Corden. These guys are going to be doing the rounds And you'll probably see him on tour with Greta Van Fleet very, very soon, too. So, guys, thank you very much, and best wishes.
Man, you planted a lot of seeds there.
Yeah.
It's my job, man. That's my job.
Make sure you title these really well. They'll go viral, I'm telling you.
Hey, man, that's my job. That's how I do what I do.
Thanks.
Okay, man.
All right, man, we're out.